Yeah, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy again, Lump the Dog, coming through with the Pimps, Plays, and Hustlers Fantasy Football League Commissioner Message week number 2. That's right. Not much change in week number 1. Everyone's just kind of bunched up at 1-1. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, except for one team, the 289ers at 0-2. Can you believe this guy? This guy, not even on the waiver wire trying to make any type of pickups, lost Aussie and Safar and Jenkins for 4 weeks. Got issues at running back. Hopefully Todd Gurley plays for him. I guess he does have TJ Yeldon. He could put him in for Lamar Miller if he don't play. But come on, man. You need a tight end. What are you doing? You come to the draft with no money, no deposit money on the room, no entry fee money, and then now you ain't making no pickups or drops or trying to be competitive? That's just weak. And then what's up with you, Foster? Man, you're an old school vet in this fantasy football league. You used to yell at Darren for not making free agent pickups. And here you are picking up Torrey Smith. I know Michael holding on to people that I don't think you should be even holding on to. Michael Floyd, what has that guy done in 2 weeks? What makes you think that you need to keep him on your roster? Is he just waiting to blow up? Yeah, he might have one good game or something, but that guy ain't consistent. You can't put that guy in your lineup every week. Come on, man. What are you guys doing? You need a running back. You got Benny Cunningham running out there again. I mean, can you really seriously feel good about running out Benny Cunningham? Anybody out there play fantasy football in week 3? How would you feel if you were starting Benny Cunningham? Not because you had to, because you wanted to, just because you didn't want to get on the waiver wire and pick up somebody. Man, I expect this stuff at a free league, not when we got $400 on the line, entry fee, and then $2,000 for the grand prize. You're all supposed to be wanting that, trying to do everything you can. Bitcoin flips and stuff to try to win that shit. So y'all need to really step your game up. 289ers, get some payment in, get some money in, get some skin in the game. We know you're good for it, but come on, man. And then Foster, start getting a little more active on the free agent wire there. You got some issues going on with your team, and you just need to pay a little bit more attention. I know you're busy. I know you're working. I know you're working out. You got working on that box jam. And I know the Spartan race is coming up, the World Championship Spartan race coming up in Tahoe, I think next month. So I must know that you're training real hard for that. Real hard. Real hard. All right, before we get into last week's matchups, and just wanted to address this very important issue. All right, man, we got this kind of important issue right now going on with scoring, and I'm going to need everyone in the league's help with it, because it can't just be on me to do this. I can't watch every game and monitor every game and every fumble that occurs. All right, so here's the problem we have. Right now, when you have a guy who returns kicks, either punt return or kick return, if they fumble the ball during that kick return, that is scored to that individual player. Now, that's easy enough. I can correct that. That's no problem. So what it doesn't do is doesn't give -3 to your special teams. So, for instance, like Keenan Allen last week, fumbled on a punt return. He got -3. I had to manually give him back 3 points, but I should also need to take away 3 points from San Diego's defense. Now, I can't do it because San Diego isn't on an actual active roster. They're a free agent, so I can't really correct their scoring. But I need you guys as owners to monitor that. If you're watching a game, if you notice that a guy had fumbled that was on special teams, you need to tell me this. You need to make me aware. Of course, I'm watching Sunday too, like everybody else. I'm watching the red zone. I'm trying to keep mental, notes and making sure that I correct the ones that I know of. But I also have to go in and give away a -3 to that special teams or defense that fumble. Now that's going to be a little bit more harder for me. So I need you guys to go ahead and let me know if that occurred. Now you'll have until Tuesday to go ahead and get me that information, because waivers go in on Tuesday, and waivers are done by points scored and record from the previous week. So if you should have an extra -3, that could maybe affect the waivers in some way, shape, or form. So you guys need to let me know by like Tuesday night at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So, I mean, the other thing too is just post up your thoughts about the matter on the boards. You know, we can talk it out as a league exactly how you want to do it. I mean, the easiest way, I guess, would be to leave it as is, and if you fumble something like that, I can score. But to take away 3 points from the special teams defense of that team is going to be a lot more difficult to do. So again, I can go ahead and give the 3 points for the punt return fumble back to that individual player, but taking away the points from that special teams defense is a lot more difficult to find out and just, you know, determine if that occurred. So, I mean, that I can't just go through every single game and looking for that. So, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So, you know, if you guys have we'll leave it up to this week, you know, Sunday. We'll talk it out on the boards. If anyone has any thoughts on the matter, you know, post them up, and we'll see what we can come up with as the most fair way to score that. If you even want 3 points taken away from that special team, and just give back the player 3 points, or keep it as is, let the player get -3. So you let me know. So with that being said, that's really all the commissioner has on as in the way of announcements. So just to recap, 289ers, you suck. Foster, get on the message or on the waiver wire and post up your thoughts about the scoring for special team fumbles on kick returns and punt returns. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into last week's games here. All right, so here we go. Week 2's scores. So in the first game, we had the Juggernauts getting the win over URSO 111-78. URSO's team fell off the map this week. You can see there with Rogers with 40 and then nothing in double digits, just 6s, 5s, 1s, and 4. Ouch. Talk about Brandon Cooks. I don't know what I mean, that he was a 3rd-round pick, and man, he ain't been performing. Charles Johnson ain't performing. John Brown had a good week 1. Now he's got Jordan Cameron injured. Ravens D, that streaming D did not pay off. Thought he was clever by sitting the Seahawks D for the Ravens D because they were playing the Raiders, and he didn't want to hurt Aaron Rodgers. But as you can see on his bench, Seahawks with 2 extra points. So good job for him. Juggernauts got led by Peyton Manning actually showing up finally with 40 points, but that's in our league, man, everyone gets 40, it seems like. Demaryius Thomas with 12. Brandon Marshall showed up Monday night with 17. 16 from Mason Crosby. Getting 16 from your kicker is always good. And 13 from the Texans D. But look at his bench. I mean, I don't know if he's has a bench or if he's running a hospital here, but this week he has Alfred Morris and Benny Cunningham. I mean, who else is he going to put in? Reggie Bush? No. Roy Halou? Why is he even rostered? Like, what about him? I mean, it's not like if he dropped Roy Halou, anyone's going to rush out there and put a waiver claim in for him. You got Deshaun Jackson. He could put, again, he has another guy he could put on his IR here and pick somebody up, but he refuses to do it because he's training for that Spartan race. Damn fucking CrossFitter. Anyway, Foster, get on the waiver wire to help your team out, but you got the win last week, so that's, I guess, all that matters. You're the man. All right, next matchup here, we had the Big Loads taking out the worst team in the league, the 289ers, 114-69. Bradford's got to be a huge disappointment. Not sure what you think about him, Big Loads, but right about now I'm thanking you for saving me from picking him, because that's who I wanted. I remember telling you after the draft that's who I was targeting, and I was afraid you would get him, and you did, but you've saved me from him, so thank you for that. But 19 points from Bradford, 13 from Crowell, 10 from McCoy, 30 from Fitzgerald. Shows up out of the mothballs with 3 touchdowns. Where was that come from? Where's he been the last 2 years? And then Stevie Johnson with 10, AJ Green with 10, and that was really all Big Loads needed to take out the 289ers. Now look at the 289ers squad, and really Andrew Luck with 21 and the Cardinals D with 22. Other than that, Bugok. Oh my goodness, Bugok. Look at 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 7. Bagak. Now I'm Bagacking, and I'm the one who has to play him this week. Andrew Luck has 2 weeks that have been unluck-like. Now he plays the Tennessee Titans. Watch, I guarantee he's going to go for like 70 points. Fantasy, 4 or 5 touchdowns, 350 yards throwing, maybe even 30, 40 yards rushing. Watch, I'm calling it right now. Andrew Luck's going to go off this week. So, but Big Loads got that win, 114-69. Big Loads must be really hyped for this week. He gets his first-round pick and Le'Veon Bell back. I'm sure he likes to see now what his team's going to be like full throttle. If he gets anything from Sam Bradford, he could be a little bit hard team to reckon with there, because AJ Green has some better games than him, that's for sure. Next game we had the Cock Merchants taking the loss to the Rookies, 99-85. Like I said, rookies, don't get all hyped up on your 2-0 start. You're number 6 in the power rankings. That's a glass chin 2-0, man. You're ready to go on a damn losing streak, getting this lucky win. You can see pretty much the only reason he got the win is Tony Romo went out. Only got him 17 points. He plays the entire game. He at least has 30, and you take that loss, rookies. But anyway, Adrian Peterson also with 16. Matt Forte with 10. The 0-0, Roddy White and Mike Evans, that's got to hurt, man. And 5 from Macklin. I'm not sure what to make of this wide receiving core. I know Evans had a great game and great year last year as a rookie, but I'm not sure if he's in for a sophomore slump or if he's just coming back from injury and just getting a slow start. James Winston, I'm sure with Austin Safar and Jenkins out now, he's going to get some more looks with Deshaun Jackson and Lewis Murphy, so maybe that gets him going. He's definitely got better weeks in front of him. Roddy White, I don't even know. How does Roddy White get 0? I mean, he's the veteran in that receiving core. How does Matt Ryan not throw him the ball? I'm not sure if he's injured and just not saying it, or Prince Amir Amuka had him on lockdown, or Rogers Kermani, but he was mainly on Julio Jones. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he'll have better games ahead of him too. And then Macklin, I mean, I think that's just straight up Alex Smith, man. That's the Alex Smith factor. He just does not throw the ball down the field, and that was the knock on Alex Smith and Dwayne Bowe last year. So. Last couple years, so we'll see if Macklin can get it going, break that wide receiver touchdown curse in Kansas City. Jimmy Graham also, big disappointment. He was a 3rd-round pick, 1 point. You think Seattle's going to get him involved now that he's voicing his displeasure with his role. So the squeaky wheel gets oiled, so I expect Jimmy Graham to definitely have better games. 21 from the Jets D. Was real close on Monday. The Jets made it interesting. You came within like 6 points. All you needed was a pick 6, and you would have actually got the win. But 21 from the Jets D. So at least, I got a good defensive score there, Cock Merchants. And then the rookies there, led by Drew Brees with 28. He's injured now. I'm not sure of his status. Some reports say he's going to be out. Some reports said he could play. Who knows? As you see, the -2 from Keenan Allen, and at the bottom there's an adjustment. As I spoke for before, Keenan Allen fumble came on a punt return, so I gave those 3 points back. Again, this is a big issue for us in the league, so let's make sure that if we voice our opinions here on Sunday, by Sunday, exactly how we're going to deal with that scoring problem. And then the Browns defense with 2 big points. And that brings me to, man, I come and record this on a Wednesday. This is after the free agent pickups. This is before any games. If you're going to talk shit and Monday morning quarterback my calls, man, do it on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. Don't wait for the halftime of the second games to now start, how about those Browns defense? Not going to start them this week, huh? Yeah, no Monday morning quarterback your call. You want to call your shot, call it on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Sunday, you just look like a jackass calling your shot after the game's been played. So why don't you go ahead and suck on that, rookies? And that's the rest of you guys. Don't fucking Monday morning quarterback my calls here. Do it on, after I post this shit. So that's that. Next game we got the A-team taking a 129 win over the Thiz Nuts. Our current reigning champ took that hard loss. A-team led on his team by Matthew Stafford with 39, 28 from Antonio Brown. Jesus Christ. And Julio Jones with 14. Got to have the best receiving core right now in the league. But then really single digits down the line from there. 9-7, 8-9, 7-8. So I'm sure Golden Tate is definitely going to have some better games in front of him. But the running back situation here for the A-team is looking a little dire. Not sure he's got down here on his bench. I guess he can go with Dion Lewis, but then he's got to play the Billitrex problem. You know, he all of a sudden Dion Lewis, you think he's going to start, and then all of a sudden it's the LeGarrette Blount show. So Melvin Gordon hasn't been producing as you would like him to, but he has some other options on the bench there. Said he can go with CJ Spiller. I'm sure we'll start getting involved a little bit more, but hard to make a call with all those running backs on who to start each week. Thiz Nuts led on his team by Matt Ryan with 42 points. Marshawn Lynch, big disappointment last week with only 6. Jeremy Hill had to probably be a bigger disappointment there. Fumbled twice, gets sat the rest of the game. Gio Bernard goes off, and now you don't know if it's going to be a timeshare or what. That's a difficult. You know, they're going to feed him the ball. They have to. He's the best back between the tackles. If Gio Bernard was ready to carry the load, or be put Jeremy Hill in the change of pace back, I don't see that happening. So I think Jeremy Hill, they were just sending him a message: sit down this game, think about what you did, and don't make sure that don't happen again. So I don't think you need to worry there, Thiz Nuts. I think Jeremy Hill definitely have a bounce back game this week. Mari Cooper, though, as a Raider fan, you got to be happy with that, with 18 points, and I think as one of the biggest disappointments in the draft. And I know you got him late; it wasn't like a high pick or anything, but there was a lot of hype about the Dolphins' defense. He got 0 points this week from him. There was and that was against Jacksonville. So there's a little concern there for you, Thiz Nuts. You did so well last year streaming defense. You might want to look into that. I understand it's hard to drop the Dolphins D, but you might want to pick up another defense there for you to play the matchups with, because they've been a pretty big disappointment for you for the first 2 weeks there. Next game we had the Haters take that 162 win over Papa's Brew Pack with 126. Haters is our weekly winner, so congratulations with that. Big Ben with the big 58 points. Then you got Jamal Charles with 13, Vincent Jackson with 11, Manuel Sanders with 12, Megatron with 14, Goskowski with 19. I mean, Jesus Christ. You get 19 points or 20 points from your kicker. You're having a pretty good week there. And then the Saints D with 12. So congratulations, Hater, winning the weekly prize this week. And surviving, Brew Pack, or Papa's Brew. Tom Brady with 61 freaking points. Jesus Christ. You guys have voted this quarterback scoring way too high. I think everyone sees how it is now, and I think we will have the votes to lower that scoring next year. So that I'm looking forward to that, because this is ridiculous. 61 from Tom Brady, 14 from Jordan Matthews, 12 from Landry, 18 from Gronkowski, 0 from the kicker, and 8 from the Panthers D. Still a respectable score there, boy, with 126. And not getting any big scoring from you get 8 or 9 more from Vinatieri, and 10 more from the Panthers D. Ryan Matthews. You need to find a running back. Hopefully Frank Gore will bounce back for you this week. But you got a solid team there, Papa's Brew. Good job at the draft. And in the last game, Mr. Sweet Spot took out Trump's pimp. Mr. Sweet Spot. Drop it on Trump's pimp. That's right. Yeah, boy. Took out Trump's pimp. This is my Super Bowl, y'all. I don't care if I win another fucking game all year. This is my Super Bowl right here. Beating out Trump's a pimp. Nothing better than beating Trump's a pimp. I'll tell you, it's a good feeling. I had Carson Palmer lead my squad with 39. What happened to Abdullah? I thought he was going to get more carries than he did. Ended up with 0. Carlos Hyde getting injured and out. That hurt definitely. But believe it or not, which I was very surprised about, my receiving core came through. 19 from Moncrief, the free agent pickup last week. 12 from Watkins and 14 from Terrence Williams. And then I think one of the better picks of the draft. I have after at least 2 weeks. I know who knows if this holds up or not. There's a caveat there. There's an asterisk there. Not for sure going to be the greatest, but the number one scoring defense right now with the last pick in the draft. So that was pretty good. A lot better value than the Seattle defense with the fifth round pick in the draft. So 32 points from the Broncos D. Trump's a pimp. Trump's is broke. Trump's a phony, acting like he was something big. Got 30 points from Rivers, 22 from Beckham, 22 from Julie Edelman, and 10 from Eifert, which has been a really good pick too. I mean, that was a guy I was kind of targeting, didn't make it back to where I could get him, but a great pick with the Eifert pick there in the draft there. And Eddie Lacy going out hurt him too, but I feel 20 points from Lacy I still get the win. But who knows what happened? Maybe Lacy goes off for 30 like Carlos Hyde did, and he gets the win. But that's what it was going to take. It was going to take him 25 plus points. So that's hard to rely on during a game to get the win. But I got it, and yeah, Mr. Sweet Spot, taking out Trump's a pimp. That's right, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look into this week's matchups for Week 3. We'll get this loaded up in here right now. So first off, we got Mr. Sweet Spot, myself at 1-1, taking on the 289ers at 0-2. I already kind of touched on this. I'm really scared of Luck this week. I'm not sure who's putting in for Lamar Miller. Bishop Shanky, I'm not too concerned about. Brandon Coleman, I'm not too concerned about. T.Y. Hilton, a little bit, but I saw him kind of tweak his knee there at the end of the game. I do have Dante Moncrief to hopefully take away some of Luck's points, so hopefully it goes like last week and Moncrief is the main scorer there. But Hilton's always a threat if he plays, so a little scared of him. Devontae Adams, not too scared of him right now. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, I know he's going to the free agent to wire to get tight end, so I'm not too concerned about that. Cardinals D against the San Francisco, little concerned about that. As long as we don't start being a turnover machine, we should be good. The Niners should be good. We should be competitive in this game and hold those cards. Just don't allow no special team scores or pick sixes. I'm sure they'll get a few sacks for sure. Right now, I got Eli. I'm probably going to go Palmer just because I don't like my quarterbacks playing on Thursday night. I hate Thursday night games, at least my fantasy players on Thursday night games, unless it's a running back. I'll play a running back or maybe even a receiver, but normally not any quarterback or defense if I can help it. So I'll probably go Palmer in there. I got Latavius Murray and Carlos Hyde in there right now. I'm locked into Murray. I'm debating now between Hyde and C.J. Anderson. I think I'm going to wait until Abdullah gets a little bit more playing time, a little bit more carries in the game before I'm able to go ahead and start him with any type of confidence. Right now I have Hyde. I am a little concerned about the Cardinals D holding him down, but we'll see. Again, it could be Anderson. I'm not sure because that's a Sunday night game, and as I don't like my guys playing on Thursday night, I love them playing on Sunday night. So I'll probably go with Anderson. We'll see. Still debating it. Moncrief, again, taking out points from Luck. I got Sammy Watkins going up against Miami. Hopefully he can do what Allen Robinson did last week. And then Terrence Williams. Brandon Weedham threw him the touchdown. Atlanta's secondary isn't the greatest in the world, so hopefully they're just loading the box and trying to stop that run, leaving one-on-one coverage on the outsides. And Terrence Williams hopefully will get a bunch of at least targets. If he doesn't come through, I'll be looking at his targets come on after the game, at least if he's getting targeted there. I got Ladarius Green there going, Minnesota, so Ebron did kind of good last week, so hopefully Ladarius Green keeps it going. McManus and then the Broncos D. So you tell me, who do you think's going to win that game? I think it's me, but, with luck, anything can happen for the 289ers, plus they're due. Next game, we got the unregistered sex offenders against Papa's Brew. Aaron Rodgers at Kansas City on Monday night. That's going to be a tough, man. They're depleted a little bit. So Kansas City has been pretty good. I mean, they did kind of hold Manning down for about three quarters, and it took the fourth quarter for Manning to come alive. Tom Brady against Jacksonville, that could get ugly. 61 points last week. Shit, he could go for 70 this week. Who knows? Jonathan Stewart, that's that. I mean, Doug Martin as your running backs, can't be too confident in that. Brandon Cooks, Travis Benjamin, and John Brown. John Brown, he could catch a couple against San Francisco, especially the way that Antonio Brown did last week. Hopefully the Niners play a little bit tougher D and jam the receiver off the damn line, not just allowing free releases and timing patterns just to go on, pretty much, undefended. But Ebron too, he's been doing good. Let's see if he can keep it going. Parking Seahawks D against Chicago and Jimmy Clausen at home. Chancellor's going to be back. That could be a big game for the Seahawks D. I could see them putting up a 30, 40-point week for sure. Chris Ivory, he got a little bit tweaked there against Philadelphia, but, he should probably score at least on a 1 or 2 yard plunge. Frank Gore should definitely have a bounce-back game. Probably have his first 100-yard game of the season, I see. Maybe a $110 and a touch. Yeah, see that definitely happen. James Jones against Kansas City, not sure. Again, that's a tough one. Kansas City defense, again, played pretty soundly in that Thursday night game and then just kind of collapsed near the end. So they can keep it up for all 4 quarters, We know one thing's for sure, Roger will be under some duress with Tamba Ali and Justin Houston. They'll definitely put some pressure on Rodgers. Bolden against Arizona, he should have a pretty nice game. He always likes to play his old team. Gronkowski, again, man, he can get another 20 points, 30 points out of Gronkowski, maybe 90 points out of Brady and Gronkowski this week combined. And then the Panthers D against New Orleans, that could be ugly if Breeze doesn't play. I'm going to say I like Papa's Brew in that one. I mean, just because of Brady and Gronk and their matchup, plain and simple. And Jordan Matthews should put up enough to, have something. But I like the Brew. Papa's Brew, calling that one. Next one, we got the 1-on-1 haters against the 1-on-1 Thews Nuts. And these two have been going at it on the message boards. Chump and still a rookie, so this should be a good matchup here. Some good smack talk probably coming from the both of them. Big Ben at St. Louis. Not sure, man. I think this is going to be one of Big Ben's down weeks. Not in a down week for Big Ben is 30 fucking points. So don't get me wrong. It's not like he's going to put up a 17-point game or 22-point game. I'm sure he'll still score 30, but I don't think he's going for 55 or 50. I think St. Louis is pissed. They lost that game last week at Washington. They're on the turf. They're going to be peeling their ears back coming after Big Ben. But Le'Veon Bell is back too, so we'll see how that plays out. Randall, do not like. Charles, obviously you have to like Charles. Vincent Jackson, gotta like him. Emmanuel Sanders, you like him. Calvin Johnson, like him. Definitely, but Talib could shut Johnson down. I think Johnson goes back to single-digit points this week. Emmanuel Sanders could have a good game though for sure. Rudolph, Gostkowski, and the Steelers D at St. Louis. And then we have Thiz Nuts going with Matt Ryan at Dallas. He should do, again, another probably 40-point game, if not more. Jeremy Hill, he'll have a better game for sure. Marshawn Lynch, he's going to probably have a good game. Hopkins against Tampa Bay, he should have a solid game, Not sure, though. He might only have 9, 11 points. I don't see a 20-point game coming out of him again, but I could be wrong. Mari Cooper, again, I think he'll have, 60, 70 yards, maybe a tug there. So, good, decent game, 12, 15 points for sure. Hankerson, that's an interesting one with Atlanta. That's his combo guy. It's your third receiver. Why not? I like the move. Throwing it out there, third wide receiver number 3. Might as well go get a little combo action there, even if it is just 5 points. So, Hankerson could definitely be the wow factor there. Prater and then the Dolphins D at Buffalo. Dolphins D just has not been performing for you, Bro Bra. So that's a tough one. I think I'm going to call on this one. I hate to say it, but I think the haters might have it in this one just for the receiving core and then obviously Big Ben, and then the Steelers D. Well, you know what? Steelers D isn't all that great. It's going to be close, but I think haters pulls it out barely. I can see Thiznut's running backs doing well enough and pull him out a win too. But I think maybe the haters with Charles on Monday night ends up pulling that one out. Next game, we got the 2-0 rookies, Glass Chin rookies against Trump's a Pimp at 1-1. We got the rookies going with Fuckhead Flacco. Bughock. Yeah, Arian Foster, he might be back. So that, Freeman and then Cobb against Kansas City on Monday night. Allen Robinson at New England. Keenan Allen at Minnesota. Kelsey, Green Bay. Browns D again against Oakland. It's an alright lineup, but it's not that bad. And then Trump's a Pimp going with Phillip Rivers, Mark Ingram at Carolina. Going Matt Jones on Thursday night at Giants. Going with the timeshare guy. Just one good week and into the lineup Matt Jones goes. Okay, well, let's see who else he could put in. Jennings. Lacey's injured, but you don't know his status, so... That's a big call, man. Hopefully Jones does well for you there Thursday night. He could definitely have another good game. I don't see him putting up what he did last week, but definitely could have another good game. Odell Beckham, that's another Thursday night game. Got 2 guys going Thursday. Oh, and Garcon. Got 3 guys going on Thursday night. Wow. So a lot of guys going for Trump's a Pimp tomorrow night. Tyler Eifert at Baltimore Gold, and then the Bills D. I like Trump's a Pimp in this one. I know I'm a lib, and I shouldn't be liking Trump. Anything with Trump's name on it, but I do like Trump's a Pimp's lineup a little bit better than the rookies. Plus the rookies, man, they just talking too much shit for being 2-0 like they won something. Ain't got a weekly prize, 2-0, 6 in the power rankings. It'd be one thing if you're number 1 in the power rankings of 2-0, just burying people, but you got a lucky win last week with Romo. So take a step back, rookies, and FFF. Ask Foster what that is if you don't know. Next game, we got the Big Lows at 1-1, taking on the Cock Merchants at 1-1. The Tyrod Taylor era has begun for the Cock Merchants. Big Bells fan, so he's gone with Tyrod Taylor because he lost Romo there. Going against Miami, and this is great too. They're both Cock Merchants is a Bills fan, Big Loads is a Dolphins fan, so good matchup in fantasy and in NFL. So really looking forward to this matchup. So you got Tyrod Taylor, Adrian Peterson, Matt Forte, Macklin, Roddy White, Mike Evans, Jimmy Graham, and I think Jimmy Graham bounces back this week. I think this is his breakout game for Seattle. Like all the Seahawks fans will probably be screaming for Jimmy Graham after this game. Jets D against Philly, and Philly ain't been doing too well, so that's a pretty solid lineup. Again, that receiving core though, you just don't know. You just need Mike Evans to show up. You need Roddy White to do something, and obviously Macklin. It would be nice if he could put something other than 5 or 7 up on the board for you, but 2 zeros is not going to cut it again, and I don't expect that to happen. It's just a question mark on what you're going to get out of that receiving core. And then Big Loads is going with Sam Bradford again, just rolling with him. Hopefully he hits here sooner than later for him. Against the Jets, that's a tough matchup too, so I don't see Bradford pulling it together against the Jets this week. McCoy against Miami, Le'Veon Bell at St. Louis, and that's another wild card. We don't know what Bell's going to do coming off and how he's going to be used coming into his first game of the season. So big question mark there with Bell. Stevie Johnson, AJ Green at Baltimore, which he always seems to put up good games against Baltimore. Fitzgerald at Frisco, and I can see him having a good game. Fitzgerald always seems to do pretty well against Frisco. Greg Olsen at New Orleans, and Dan Bailey, and then the Patriots D at Jacksonville. Sneaky waiver wire pickup there. Could be big points there for the Patriots D. So this one I'm going to call, God dang, this one's hard because you got Tyrod Taylor, and then you got a Le'Veon Bell coming back. You don't know. You know what? Since one's a Bills fan, one's a Miami fan, I'm just going to call this one a tie. And we all know what ties, who gets ties. So I call tie in that one. Big Loads and the Cock Merchants tie. And then in the last game, we got the A team against the Juggernauts. Both teams 1-1. Juggernauts going with Peyton Manning. How can you sit him? Sunday night, so hopefully he shows up. Alfred Morris on Thursday night. Benny Cunningham. I do not like either of those guys. Michael Floyd, please. How can you even have that guy in your lineup? Demaryius Thomas obviously goes with Peyton. Brandon Marshall's been solid. He should do well against Philadelphia. That that guy that they signed from Seattle, what's his name, in Philly, he hasn't been able to cover anybody. And so Marshall should have his way. Witten, I'm not sure with Wheaton how good Witten's going to be now. Crosby in the Texas defense. A-Team's going to roll with Cam Newton this week at New Orleans. Looks like he's going with Dion Lewis from Patriots in Jacksonville, Melvin Gordon against Minnesota. Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, killer receiving core there. Golden Tate, Heath Miller, Matt Bryant, and the Giants D on Thursday night. Wow, against Washington? He's got a feeling there, y'all. He's got a feeling. So I'm going to call the A-Team in this one just because the juggernauts. I mean, just look at his running backs. Look at his one receiver. There's third receiver, I guess. Malcolm Floyd. He just doesn't even care who it is. He might as well just not put anybody in there. But yeah, I'm going to call the A-Team on that one. I think juggernauts will take the loss. All right, y'all. So there you go. There's the Week 2 matchups. Yeah, so good luck to y'all in Week 3, man. I can't believe it's already Week 3. I mean, after this week, we only have 10 weeks left of fantasy football. It goes by so quick, and then it takes so long to get here. So, again, good luck to everybody. Last reminder about the scoring. It's an issue here, again, that when people fumble, that -3 should go to the special teams, not the individual player. I can correct the individual player. That's easy enough. It's the special teams that it's hard to give the -3 to. So, again, post up your thoughts on the message boards and how you guys think that this should be handled. And, we'll go ahead and maybe put a poll up there and see what we can get past. All right. So, with that being said, good luck again in Week 3, and I'm out. Peace.
I'ma get it out, and when I get that house, I'ma hit that house, and when I hit that house, I'ma forget that house. After I hit her, I'ma quit her, on to the next. Go rapper, latex, I practice safe.